From the time we got here, his body, really made, a remarkable change. Even before I got here, his freshman year, I think when he showed up, to now, he looks like a player. He can really score. I think we all know that. Quick release, really good size. I don't think the moment gets too. Jordan hit some big shots for us down the stretch in some games. As I tell him, sometimes he has too much confidence. But I think that's hard to find. I don't think there are a handful of guys that shoot it better than Jordan. That went through the draft process, especially at his size. I think if he continues to, as I said before, make better decisions with the ball, become a better defender, be more efficient in his scoring, then he's going to have a remarkable junior year, and he'll be in a much stronger position next May.
You mentioned the ending to last year, and with these guys returning, some newcomers, do you make any tweaks on how you approach maybe the style of play or practice or anything differently?
Sure. I mean, we're going to play a little different. We still have 140 days until college season starts. I think Rothstein said something like that. So, but I want to know what our guys can do. I have 7 new players. 2 of which won't even be here until after July 4th. So for me to say, hey, this is what offensively we're going to be about, I think at times we'll be 3 out, 2 in. Majority of times we'll be 4 out, 1 in. We'll be able to play both styles. I think we'll be able to extend a little bit defensively, just with the sheer number of bodies that we have. But to say that I know exactly how we're going to play next year, I'd be lying.
Who are the 2 that won't be here till after July 4th?
David Johnson, who's got a little bit more academic work to do, and then Aiden Gahan, who doesn't graduate. He's up in the Northeast until middle of June, so he just couldn't make it here for, I think, Memorial Day is around when we started summer session 2.
Coach, from what you have heard or talked to Jordan about, was there anything that was different in the feedback he received from the NBA than what you gave him before he went through the process?
I didn't give him a whole lot of feedback before he went to the process. I think Jordan, being around me for 5 months, knows how I feel about him as a player and where I think he's got to get better. But again, NBA and college game are much different. How he's valued at that level, what they want him to do. If he'd have gone through a lot more workouts than he did, he went through 1 pro day for the agency that he was represented by, then he probably would have gotten even more feedback. But they basically had to go on what he did throughout the course of the season. There were probably a lot of general managers that didn't have a chance to see him play. And so that was probably a big part of his. I don't think he ever moved up the board, never moved down the board. He just sort of was on the board.
The academic stuff with David Johnson, is any of that something to work out moving forward?
No. I have zero concern, with David being a part of our program. Zero.
How do you think the reinforcements this year will help Jordan as a scorer, because you will have so many more options around the perimeter especially?
I just think that you have more guys that can put the ball in the hole. We also have more experienced guys that need to be able to show the way to our young guys. But we have more options. And I also think the guys that are returning, if they're doing their job, will become better players this offseason.
What kind of leadership do you expect Jordan and Stephen to show next year? Excuse me, with them coming back.
Well, the best teams, in my opinion, are the ones that are led by their oldest players. And we're going to find out a lot about our team this summer and the leadership it possesses. But that's going to be really, really, really important. I think last year, without a doubt, our leader was Kristen Cunningham. Without a doubt. And I can't say, on June 3rd, 4th, whatever it is today, that this is our leader. Maybe I couldn't have said that a year ago. CC would only have been here a week. But it was pretty apparent by the end of the summer. So that's why one of the reasons I'm looking forward to this summer is to see who sort of emerges as an everyday guy and somebody that inspires his teammates. And, we have guys that are all about the right things, but that leadership is going to be important with 7 new guys.
What do you want to see from Darius the next I guess 4 months or so before.
Consistency, a lot less turnovers. Be our best on-ball defender.
I think he's a better shooter than his numbers show. Are you concerned about his shooting? Does he work with shot at all?
No, his shooting percentage is much better than he showed a year ago. I think Darius shot the ball pretty well in the last 10 games of the season. I'd say this if Darius were right here. Darius, he didn't know how to be an everyday guy. And I'm big on that. I just think that if you show up and you're in a bad mood or things don't go well for you and you're different on different days, it's going to create some problems. And I think Darius had to learn the hard way. I give him a lot of credit because a lot of guys nowadays just put their name in the transfer portal and it's the coach's fault. And I'm sure there were some hard days for Darius to think, should I do that or not? But I was really proud of how he stuck it out in the last 10 games or so and became a guy that we had trust in putting in, because I didn't in the beginning of the season. And he sort of re-earned that. And I'm hopeful that he takes this off season to do what he did in the last couple months of the season, the last month of the season, be an everyday guy, compete at a high level, be our best on-ball defender, cut his turnovers way down, play with a higher IQ, and shoot the ball like he's more than capable of doing. And, I'm going to coach him just as hard as I did when he didn't like being coached hard. And, if he takes to it, I think he'll have a much better experience as a junior.
Newcomers who are here already, know they've barely been here a week, but how have they been settling in? How much contact have you had with them on a day-to-day basis? Because
guys were getting in all different days, whether it was Jordan coming back on Thursday or night. 2 of our incoming freshmen, because they still hadn't graduated, didn't get here until Wednesday. But we didn't do anything basketball-wise last week. They still had to go through everything that it takes to get cleared medically, compliance-wise, orientation, which around here as a freshman orientation, wow. I mean, 7:30 in the morning to 11 at night, and then 7:30 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon. Sam, after 3 hours, was like, "Coach, I don't know what else I need to be oriented with." I don't either, but just get it done. So we had to go through all that. And so this is the first week that we've had any basketball workouts since obviously only Tuesday. So we got a little ways to go before I can, But they're doing a great job with Coach Kettler. It's shocking to them, but it's good.
Anything else for Coach?
I have to ask a recruiting question, but as you move forward in this season, the rules have changed. Is it going to be more difficult to evaluate guys with less days out there? You were out once in the spring and next week, I know.
A little bit. It's hard to comment on something without having gone through it. So to say, this new calendar with the high school weekends, and to say that it's a negative, that'd be unfair because we haven't gone through it. I get a little nervous because, we feel, and I've always felt that AAU, although it has its negatives, it's also a huge positive because you can be under one roof and see all the best players in the country in a matter of 2 or 3 days. And our AAU weekends and exposure went from this to this. So it's going to be different, that's for sure. And it's up to us to figure out the best way to get the best players here at Louisville.
How long are you going to let the hair grow?
Mine? Is it out?
Anything else? Thank you.
Thanks.